You see someone standing in the middle of a storm they did not start. They are being judged by people who do not know the story. They are being condemned for words they never spoke. But God is watching. The world calls it a scandal, but God calls it a separation. They are being judged by people who do not know the truth. They are being condemned for words they never spoke. They are being excluded by those they once loved. It is a lonely place to be. You walk into a room, and the conversation stops. You see the looks people give you. You feel the weight of their silent judgment. Maybe that person is you. You have heard the rumors. You have seen the screenshots. You know the exact feeling of your heart dropping when you realize what people are saying. It feels like the air has been sucked out of the room. It feels like you are drowning in a sea of lies. Maybe you have spent long nights staring at the ceiling. Maybe you have tried to explain your side to people who will not listen. Maybe you have watched your circle of friends get smaller and smaller. Maybe you have felt like a stranger in your own home or church. Maybe you have wondered if the truth will ever come out. I want you to listen closely to me today. This is not just a video about your reputation. This is a message about your destiny. Your name is being whispered in the dark, but your future is being written in the light. This video will change how you see your struggle. You are not being destroyed. You are being hidden for a purpose. Let's be honest about how this feels. A false accusation is not just a mistake, it is a weapon. It is designed to take your peace. It is meant to steal your joy. It is intended to make you give up. When people spread lies about you, they are trying to define you. They want to put a label on you that does not belong. But here is the truth. The people who are talking about you do not have the final say. They see the rumor, but God sees the heart. They see the lie, but God sees the life you have lived. There is a huge difference between what people think and what God knows. It is exhausting to fight a shadow. You cannot argue with a lie that you did not start. You cannot fix a reputation that someone else broke on purpose. It makes you want to shout. It makes you want to defend yourself to everyone you meet. But the more you fight, the more tired you get. You might feel like you are losing everything. You might feel like your life is over because of a few words. But God is doing something in the silence. He is moving things around. He is removing people who are not supposed to be in your next season. He is closing doors that would have hurt you later. If you are watching this right now, understand one thing. You are not alone in this trial. Every great person in the Bible faced a false accusation. They all had people who tried to tear them down, but God used every lie to lift them up. He is going to do the same for you. The weight you feel is heavy, but it is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign of your value. Nobody attacks something that is worthless. They are attacking you because there is something in you they cannot control. They are trying to dim your light because it makes them uncomfortable. The silence you are hearing is not empty. It is full of God's presence. He is keeping you quiet for a reason. He is teaching you to trust His voice more than their whispers. He is showing you that His approval is the only thing that matters. I want you to stay with me through these 7 truths. We are going to look at exactly what God is doing while people are talking. We are going to see why this happened and how it ends. Because it does not end with your shame. It ends with your honor. Number 1, the court of heaven does not use earthly evidence. Your truth is already documented. Let's start with the truth no one wants to say out loud. People do not need a reason to believe a lie. They only need a reason to dislike the person. Once someone decides they do not like you, every rumor becomes a fact to them. They stop looking for the truth. They start looking for a reason to stay angry. Think about the last time you saw a familiar face. You were standing in the grocery store aisle. You saw them coming toward you with a cart. They looked up and saw you. Then they looked at the floor. They turned their cart around and walked away quickly. You stood there, holding a carton of milk. Your face felt hot, with a shame you did not earn. You wanted to run after them. You wanted to show them the text messages. You wanted to prove you were innocent. But you just stood there. You put the milk back on the shelf. You walked to your car and locked the door. You sat in the dark for 10 minutes. The silence in the car felt heavy. Your chest felt like it was in a vice. You felt like everyone in the city was talking about you. It made you want to disappear. Sound familiar? The Bible says in Psalm chapter 37, verse 6, "He will make your righteous reward shine like the dawn. He will make your vindication shine like the noonday sun." The text does not say you have to prove it. It does not say you have to hire a lawyer for your reputation. It says God will make it shine. Think about Joseph in the book of Genesis. He was a young man with a pure heart. Potiphar's wife lied about him. She used his own coat as false evidence of a crime he did not commit. Joseph did not have a camera to show the truth. He did not have a witness to speak for him. He was thrown into a dark prison cell. His reputation was destroyed. He spent years in that prison. But the Bible says God was with him. The court of heaven was still in session. God knew exactly what happened in that bedroom. He was recording the truth in his own books while the world believed the lie. Joseph did not spend his time writing letters of defense to Potiphar. He did not try to fix his name. He trusted the judge of all the earth. Maybe you are in your own prison right now. Maybe people are using your own words against you. They are twisting things you said in confidence. They are showing the coat, but hiding the story. It feels like the lie has already won. It feels like you will never be clean again. But God's court is different than man's court. Man uses hearsay. God uses truth and light. He is looking at your heart right now. He sees the tears you cried in that car. He knows you did not do what they said. He knows what you actually whispered. The evidence in heaven is already filed. Your vindication is not a matter of if, it is only a matter of when. You do not need to fight for your seat. God has already reserved it for you. Your record is clear in the only place that matters. The court of public opinion is a playground. The court of the Almighty is a throne. Number 2. Your silence in the storm is a sign of strength. Quietness is God's greatest weapon against a lie. Here is what nobody tells you. The urge to defend yourself is a trap. It is a hunger that can never be satisfied. When you answer a lie, you give it more life. You give the rumor more oxygen to burn. The enemy wants you to talk. He wants you to spend your energy arguing. He wants you to lose your focus. You pick up your phone at midnight. Your thumbs are hovering over the keyboard. You want to type a long post. You want to tag every person who lied. You want to set the record straight. You write 3 paragraphs and then delete them. You write them again and hit send. Then you wait. You refresh the screen every 30 seconds. Your heart is racing in your chest. You see a comment that makes you angry. You type a reply with shaking hands. By 3 in the morning, you are exhausted. You have gained nothing. The lie is still there. Your peace is gone. You feel like you are fighting a ghost. The more you speak, the more they twist your words. You realize that they do not want the truth. They only want the fight. They want to see you break. They want to see you lose your composure. You have been there. The Bible says in Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, "The Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still." This is very hard to do. We want to yell. We want to show the receipts. But God says to be still. He says to keep your mouth closed. He is asking you to trust Him with your name. He is asking you to let Him be your shield. Look at Jesus before Pontius Pilate. The highest religious leaders were screaming. They were making up stories about Him. They called Him a criminal and a liar. They brought in people to give false testimony. Pilate was confused by the noise. He looked at Jesus and asked a question. He asked why Jesus did not answer the charges. Jesus stood there in total silence. He did not argue for his life. He did not point out the lies of the priests. He knew who he was. He knew his Father was watching the trial. His silence was not a sign of guilt. It was a sign of total authority. He knew that the truth did not need his help. He knew that heaven was the final witness. Maybe you are being pressured to speak. Your family wants you to give an update. Your friends are asking for the details. You feel like you have to say something. You feel like silence makes you look weak. You worry that if you don't speak, the lie becomes the truth. But that is not how God works. Your silence is a form of worship. It says that you trust God more than your words. It says that you believe He is big enough to handle it. When you stop talking, God starts moving. When you stop defending, God starts protecting. He can reach places your voice can never go. He can change minds that you could never convince. The storm is loud right now. The wind is blowing. The waves are crashing. People are shouting your name in the dark. But you are not a victim of the noise. You are a student of the silence. God is teaching you a new way to fight. He is teaching you to win without saying a word. Number 3. The people you expected to stay walked away first. That exit was God clearing the courtroom. Let me say this straight. When a lie goes viral, the crowd moves fast. People you have helped for years suddenly vanish. They do not want the smoke on them. They stay quiet to stay safe. You check your phone every 10 minutes. You look for that one supportive text, but the screen stays dark and cold. The silence feels louder than the rumors. You see them posting photos at dinner. They are smiling with the people who hurt you. It feels like a knife in the back. You wonder if you ever really knew them. You feel like a leper in your town. The loneliness is a heavy, physical weight. You think God has forgotten your address. He has not. Maybe that is you. You are looking for a human defender. You want someone to stand in the gap. You want a friend to shout the truth. But the chairs are all empty. The Bible says in Psalm chapter 27, verse 10, "Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will take me up." This is the promise for the abandoned. King David knew this pain very well. His own son, Absalom, started a rebellion. He told lies to steal the kingdom. David's best friend joined the other side. David had to run for his life. He sat on a dusty hill alone. He watched his kingdom turn into a cage. He had no one left to trust. But in that desert, David found God. He found a strength that people cannot give. He realized that God was his only defense. The king was being stripped of his pride. God was preparing him for a bigger throne. He had to lose his friends. He had to be alone to be anointed. It was a painful and holy trade. Your current isolation is not an accident. God is moving the spectators out of the way. He is closing the mouths of your advocates. He wants to show you his hand. If your best friend saved your name, you would thank them. If your pastor saved your name, you would follow them. But when God saves your name, you worship him. He is jealous for your heart. The people who left were just scaffolding. They were there while the building was rising. Now the structure can stand on its own. The scaffolding has to fall away. Do not mourn the people who walked. They were only meant for the easy seasons. They could not handle the weight of your glory. God is doing a new thing. He is teaching you to be independent. He is showing you that he is enough. You are more powerful. The crowd is just a noisy distraction. So the question is not why they left. The question is what God is building. Number 4. Every lie told about you is a seed for a future blessing. What was meant to bury you is actually planting you. Here is what nobody tells you. The enemy never wastes a lie on someone who is not a threat. If they are talking, it means you have something worth stealing. Every bucket of dirt they throw on your reputation is just more soil for your growth. They think they are covering you up, but God is actually covering you for a season of transformation. You feel the pressure building. You walk through the halls at work. You see the groups whispering in the corner. Their eyes follow you as you pass. You go to your desk and sit down. Your hands are cold. You feel like the walls are closing in. You feel like you are being pushed underground. It is dark and it is quiet. The air feels heavy on your chest. You try to brush the dirt off. You try to clear your name every single day. But the more you dig, the more dirt they throw. You start to feel like you will never see the sun again. You feel like this is where your story ends. You think the darkness is a grave, but you are wrong. You felt this. The Bible says in Psalm chapter 126, verse 5, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy." The text does not say you might reap. It says you shall. Every tear you cry over a lie is a seed. Every sleepless night is an investment in your future. God is watching the weight of the dirt. He knows exactly how much you can carry. Think about the life of Job. He was a man of great integrity. He lost his children and his wealth in one day. Then his 3 best friends showed up. They did not come to comfort him. They came to accuse him. They sat in the dirt and told him he must be a sinner. They said God was punishing him for a secret life. They used his pain as evidence against his character. Job sat in the ashes and listened to their lies. He felt the weight of their judgment. He felt the sting of their false words. But he did not give up his integrity. He knew the truth about his life. He knew that his Redeemer lived. In the end, God spoke from the whirlwind. He rebuked the friends for their false words. He gave Job twice as much as he had before. The lies of his friends did not stop his blessing. They only served as the backdrop for his restoration. The people talking about you are actually working for you. They are providing the tension you need to grow. They are providing the soil you need to bloom. You cannot have a harvest without dirt. You cannot have a testimony without a test. The very things they said to destroy, you will be the things God uses to define you. God is taking those lies and turning them into life. He is taking that shame and turning it into strength. You are not a victim of their words. You are a victor in the making. The deeper they bury you, the stronger your roots become. The darker it gets, the closer you are to the breakthrough. Do not be afraid of the dirt. Do not be afraid of the dark. The seeds of your greatest season are being planted right now. You are going to rise up with a story they can't deny. You are going to walk in a favor they can't explain. They thought they were finishing you, but God was just beginning. It was not a burial, it was a planting. Number 5. The people who believed the lie were never part of your future. The gossip was actually a divine filter for your inner circle. Let me say this straight. True character is not just what you do. It is also who you choose to believe. You noticed the shift in the atmosphere long before the words were spoken. It started with a text that went unreturned. You saw them online, but they were silent to you. Then you saw the social media posts. A friend had shared a quote about integrity. You knew it was aimed at you. You saw the comment section filling up with people you used to trust. They were dropping emojis and laughing at your expense. They did not have the courage to say it to your face. They just let the lie settle in their hearts. You felt a coldness in your chest. You realized your friendship was a fragile thing. It could not survive a little bit of pressure. It could not withstand a single false testimony. You wondered if any of it was ever real. You saw the names of people you have fed at your own table. You saw people you have prayed for in their darkest hours. Now, they are the ones validating the rumor. It felt like a punch to the stomach. You couldn't believe how fast they turned. They did not even ask for your side. They did not give you the benefit of the doubt. They just walked away. They acted like you were a stranger they never knew. You know this feeling. The text says in Proverbs chapter 17, verse 17, "A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity." Read those words again. At all times. That includes the times when your name is mud. That includes the times when the world is screaming. If they only love you. If they only love you when you are winning, they are not friends. They are fans. Fans leave when the show gets difficult. Friends stay when the fire gets hot. Think about Jonathan and David. King Saul was the ruler of the land. He had all the power. He had the loudest voice in the kingdom. He told everyone that David was a traitor. He told his own son, Jonathan, that David was dangerous. Most people would have believed the king. Most people would have chosen the palace. But Jonathan saw David's heart. He did not care about the king's rumors. He did not care about the social cost. He risked his own life to warn David. He stayed loyal when loyalty was expensive. God sent Jonathan to David to show him he was not alone. God is using this lie to show you who is for you. He is pulling back the curtain. He is showing you who was really there for the ride and who was there for the relationship. It is a painful mercy, but it is still a mercy. You cannot go where God is taking you with people who doubt your soul. You cannot build a future on shaky loyalty. You need people who can see past a headline. You need people who know your spirit better than a screenshot. God is clearing the deck. He is making room for your real tribe. He is making room for the people. Do not chase the people who left. They were not your assignment. They were just your scenery. The lie revealed them. Let that sit. Number 6. Character is built in the dark and revealed in the light. Your integrity is a slow-growing tree. Here is what nobody tells you. A reputation is what people think you are. Character is who God knows you are. You can lose a reputation in a second, but you cannot lose your character unless you give it away. The lies being told about you right now are attacking your reputation. They are not attacking your character. In fact, this trial is actually proving your character to the only audience that matters. Think about the life you lived before the rumors started. You were the first one to arrive at work. You stayed late to help a coworker who was struggling. You gave money to a neighbor when their car broke down. You did these things when no one was watching. You didn't do them for a social media post. You didn't do them to get a promotion. You did them because that is who you are. You spent years building a foundation of honesty and kindness. Now, the storm has hit. The wind is trying to knock the house down. People are pointing at the roof and saying it is rotten. They are shouting that the whole building is fake. It feels like your years of hard work have been erased. You feel like the one lie is louder than 1,000 truths. You wonder if any of your good deeds even mattered. You feel like a fool for being so kind for so long. Maybe that is you. You feel like your past has been stolen by a gossip. You feel like the light has been turned off on your good name. But you need to understand how a building works. The foundation is the only part that is always in the dark. It is hidden under the ground. It is pressed by the weight of the entire house. You cannot see it from the street, but it is the only thing keeping the house standing right now. The Bible says in Daniel chapter 6, verse 4, "The administrators and the satraps tried to find grounds for charges against Daniel, but they could find no corruption in him. He was trustworthy and neither corrupt nor negligent." These men were jealous of Daniel's success. They were angry that a foreigner was higher than them. They spent weeks looking for a scandal. They checked his records. They followed him home. They watched his every move. They found nothing. Daniel was the same in private as he was in public, so his enemies had to make something up. They tricked the king into making a law that targeted Daniel's faith. They forced a situation where Daniel's integrity became his crime. They threw him into a den of hungry lions. They thought the lions would do the work that the lies could not. They thought the darkness of the pit would be the end of his story. But character is built for the pit. Daniel didn't start praying when he saw the lions. He had been praying 3 times a day for decades. His character was already set in stone. The lions didn't eat him because God shut their mouths. But more importantly, the lions didn't eat him because there was nothing in him. There was nothing in him for the enemy to grab onto. He was clean. When the king pulled him out the next morning, the truth was revealed. The enemies were destroyed by the very trap they set. Your integrity is your greatest defense. If you have been living right, the lie has no place to land. It might hover over your head for a season. It might make people look at you differently for a while. But a lie cannot stick to a clean heart forever. Eventually, the weight of the lie becomes too heavy for the person telling it. Eventually, the light of your consistent life will burn through the fog of their words. You do not need to change who you are to survive this. You do not need to become mean because they are mean. You do not need to become a liar to fight a lie. If you do that, you are giving them exactly what they want. They want to pull you down to their level. They want to prove that you are just like them. But you are not. You are a child of the light. Keep being kind. Keep being honest. Keep serving when no one is looking. The dark season is not a waste of time. It is the time when your roots are growing the deepest. It is the time when your foundation is being tested for the weight of your future. You are going to come out of this with a character that is fireproof. The world sees the accusation. God sees the preparation. Number 7. Your restoration will be more public than your accusation. God speaks last. Let me say this straight. The lie was loud, but the truth will be louder. Most people think the storm will just fade out. They think they will just slip away quietly. But God is a God of justice. He doesn't just clear your name in private. He restores your honor where it was stolen. Imagine the day the truth finally breaks. You are sitting at home in the quiet. You have stopped looking for answers online. Then you hear a notification on your phone. The screen lights up. It is a message from an old friend. They are finally apologizing for what they said. They admit they were fooled by a snake. You walk into the office on Monday morning. The atmosphere has shifted completely. The person who started the rumor is gone. They were caught in their own web. People look at you with genuine regret. They realize they were wrong. They see the strength you showed. They respect your silence. You feel the weight lift off your shoulders. You can finally breathe without any pain. The sun feels warmer on your face. You are vindicated in the bright light. It feels like a long dream is over. You aren't even angry anymore. You are just at peace. You don't need their apology. God has already filled your cup. You have been there. The Bible says in Psalm chapter 23, verse 5, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows." God does not hide you in a back room. He sets the table right in front of them. He makes the people who doubted you watch him bless you. He makes the ones who whispered, "See," your promotion. Think about Mordecai in the book of Esther. A man named Haman hated him with a passion. Haman was powerful and very rich. He told the king that Mordecai's people were dangerous. He built a gallows 75 feet high. He planned to hang Mordecai in front of everyone. He wanted a public execution. He wanted a public shame. The decree was signed and sealed. Mordecai sat in sackcloth and ashes. It looked like the lie had won. It looked like his life was over. But God had a different plan. In one night, the king could not sleep. He read the history books of the palace. He saw that Mordecai had saved his life. He called Haman into the room. He asked how to honor a great man. Haman thought the king meant him. He described a grand royal parade. He wanted a robe and a horse. Then the king gave the order. Haman had to lead Mordecai through the city. Haman had to shout Mordecai's praises. The man who built the gallows became the herald. Mordecai was lifted higher than ever. This is the God you serve. He loves a plot twist. He loves to take the weapon and turn it. He is not just going to fix things. He is going to use this to promote you. The people who tried to bury you will see it. They will witness your rise. They will have to acknowledge God's hand. They will see you were protected. The accusation was a whisper in the dark. The restoration will be a shout in the day. You don't have to worry about the timing. God is a master of the clock. He knows when hearts are ready. He knows when the truth hits hardest. Just keep walking with him. Keep your heart pure. The table is already being set. The oil is already being poured. Your enemies have a front row seat. They are going to see the glory. God is about to change the story. It was not a defeat. It was a setup. You were not destroyed by the lie. You were refined by the truth. The world thought they were erasing your name. But God was actually highlighting your integrity. You were not being buried by their words. You were being planted for a greater harvest. I am talking to the one who is tired of being the villain. I am speaking to the person who feels like a stranger in their own life. You are standing strong while you feel like crumbling. God is your witness. He knows your heart. He saw the truth when no one else would look for it. He is proud of your silence in the storm. They do not see the blessing yet, but soon they will see your honor. They do not see the work God is doing in your soul, but one day they will see what God saw all along. Your life will be the only proof you need.